about some books that like I'm looking forward to read this year or like these upcoming months. So like in this video, like I'm gonna be telling you like books from my worst genre to my like favorite genre. And like from the worst genre, I know that some of you like just got it what genre am I going to start with. So like without wasting more time, let's begin our video. So well, now the first genre is thriller. So well, yeah, I hate thriller genre because like I can't handle so much of suspense. And like I just finished thriller genre books like I think some hours or something. So that's why I don't read thriller. And but like in this genre also I found a good book. And in thriller genre I like only found a good book because like it's hard to find good books in thriller genre for me. So we like the name of the book is One of Us is Lying by Karen MC Maynard. So like this book summary like goes on like a night where like someone is died in a party, and like this story follows like some friends or like some like these, and they try to, and the one of them is lying, and like this kind of like the storyline goes on in this book as I have not read the book. So like in the storyline I found it unique because like in most of the like thriller genres it happens like like psychopaths like this, but like I found this very unique because like in this like my personal opinion is like in those like four friends or something whom the story follow would be like one of them is a serial killer or like something. So like that's why I like this book, and like this book is a kind of unique because like in the past in the back the thriller movies I have watched, and like I watched explanation of, and the movies I watched, like in those movies there like just a thing common in like every movie. There is just a thing common which is psychopaths. So like but this movie like this book does not contain that type of like thing, so that's why it is like a little unique, and like this is a good book from me. And like first of all, before like going forward, let me tell you like every one of us has, like if you begin a channel or you read books, if you're like my age and you do not earn, so like every one of us has a book limit for buying books, and like the cost limit. So like this book I can buy, it is like in my cost limit, and like that's why I can buy this book, but I'm just not buying this because before this book I want to read like some more books which I have included in this video. So now let's move on to the next genre because this was the only book in this genre that I need to tell you. So well, like the name of the next genre is like classics, and like I don't like classics is not a genre that I hate, but personally I like don't read classic books nowadays because like in the past when I started this channel I already read like some classic books. Like for example, you can take Heidi, The Merchant of Venice, and like Little Women. Well, there were more, but now I do not remember the books' names. So well, like yeah, but nowadays I don't read classics, but like there are two fantastic books that I found in classic. Well, number one is like the first book absolutely all know because like I think that book is a kind of like common book. So well, like the book number one is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. And like this book is like in this book the like storyline follows like two sisters, Kath and Ren. Like Kath now is an introvert, and like she's like whole like she has a old world of she's busy in her own world of internet and like books. And like her sister Ren plays the role as like Kat's best friend and like her sister, because like they both grew up without their mother. And like that's why like I like Kat more because like she's a kind of introvert, and like I think that I like Kat because not because I like books, because like she's like a kind of introvert, a type of like quiet, like very quiet. And like I somehow like Kat, and then I like Ren also because like she plays the role of like her best friend, and like she supports Kath very much. So well, that's why I found this book like it's a like very good book, and that's why now I got to know that why like so many booktubers, like every booktubing video I watch of like the other booktubers and like this for time pass, they like in many videos they all include this book, and like now I got to know it why this book is so good. So now let's move on to the next book of this classic genre, which is Since You've Been Gone. Like personally, this book, about this book, my cousin told me, and like we both are like a type of book lovers, and like we're crazy about books. So well, she told me about this book, and like I have not like read the summary because like it's not available on like Amazon. The summary is not available on Amazon, and like I'm not reading this book because like it's way too costly, and like you can take like this book is like 826 or 863. This is the cost of this book, and it is like too much costly, and like this book is like it not my like cost limit. Like each of us has a cost limit on which we can buy books, and like this book is like not in my cost limit, so I'm waiting for it to like I'm waiting for the price drop down of this book. Like whenever the book's price drops down, then I'm gonna buy this book. But like I think that this is a good book, except like this summary is not available on Amazon, but my cousin like recommended me. That's why I want to read it, because like every book she recommends is like a great pick for me. And like so well, this is the book. So well, now these are the two books of the classic genre, and like these two books are like good, but mostly I want to read like Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, because I think that book is a like great pick, and I like found the story a little bit unique, and like in the other classic stories like goes on with families, and but these like this book is based on like just two sisters, like those two sisters are the main character of this book. So that's why I want to read this book so badly. So now let's move on to the next genre. Okay, so the next genre is like horror, and like this is the second genre which I'm like focused on the most, because like I like reading horror movies, and I like reading I like watching horror movies, I like reading horror books, but mostly in like horror movies I like to watch horror. Horror is my favorite genre in movies, and in books it's like my second favorite genre. So like in this genre, I really want to read Carrie by Stephen King, and as you know, I read a book by Stephen King named Pet Cemetery, and like that book was really satisfying and amazing. I was like really like satisfied with the ending, but like somehow unsatisfied, somehow satisfied by the ending, because like in the ending all the characters died, including the main character, which was like a painful death. And like that's why I want to read Carrie, because like I think Carrie has like some of this ending. Well, that's another thing, I can't watch Carrie because like I don't know where the movie is, and but like this story follows basically a girl named Carrie, and like she's very badly treated by like her schoolmates, and like and like this is how she has a power of telekinesis, and like telekinesis is a power from which you can like from your mind has enough energy to move things from your mind. Like for example, if I have like this case, I have like this case, and like this case is like kept here. So like from my mind I would like I just move this case to like float it in the air, and so like this kind of power is like telekinesis. And like that's why I want to read Carrie, because like she has telekinesis, and like in the end of the book like very like I read the reviews, and like people were really satisfied with this book. Like I found some reviews also that this book was very disturbing. So well, like I think 2-3 months ago also I want to read this book, because then I also like I don't know what was gotten into me. I also found this book disturbing, so I didn't read it. But like now I want to read it, because I think this book is a like good book. Like for some people it is very disturbing, but I think not for me, because like I watched like every single day a horror movie's explanation, like a zombie movie explanation, or a zombie movie, or like a horror movie. I want to watch a horror movie because like as I told you, horror is like my favorite genre in movies, and like I'm just obsessed with it. And now the next book is And the Roses Bread by Mehak Delha, and like this is like an indie author's book, and like this story follows basically two sisters, and like one of them dies, and then like 4 or 2 years later, the sister who died comes. The sister who died, her spirit comes to the sister who is alive, and like this is how the story goes on. But after that, the sister who is alive, she gets to know that the spirit is not of her dead sister. That spirit is like originally of a devil. And like this is the summary I found, and like I know that this book is a like good pick, and like I somehow found this book like related to like Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, because like in this also like those two sisters are the main character of this book, and like in those two also. So that's why I want to read this too, because like I think that this book is a like a good like a pick for horror. And like I personally just I was like scrolling on Amazon, and like that's how I found this book, and I'm just waiting for the price to drop down for this book. So now these were the two books of horror that I really want to read, and now let's move on to my favorite genre. Okay, so like in the fantasy genre, like this is my favorite genre, and like I read fantasy books a lot, like a lot. Like most of my channel has like fantasy book reviews, and like I'm just obsessed with fantasy books. So like the first book is like there are 3 books in this genre that I picked up, and like I really want to read those 3. And like the first book is like it's not a book, it's like a series of book that is like fully released, and that series the Folk of the Air, and this series contains like 3 books: The Cruel Prince, The Wicked King, and The Queen of Nothing. Now personally, to be honest, my cousin recommended this, like it's a like basically a fantasy trilogy, and like my cousin recommended this series, and like really this book is good. Like in the summary, like we are told that like Jude and the sisters one day wake up and find their parents murdered, and like this is how the story goes on. Well, now from the summary, like first I found this book from like a thriller mystery, but then my cousin told me that this is a trilogy and is based on like fantasy genre. And like really I found the summary very interesting, but that's another thing, that like the summary is not fully told and not clearly, but like yeah, I want to read this book, and maybe this could be the next book review, but I don't know which book I'm going to choose. So well, now let me tell you about the next book I really want to read. So the next book is The School for Good and Evil by Soham Chenanai, and like this is an Indian author's book. And like in this book, like in the summary like it follows like 2 friends. One is an extrovert and one is an introvert. Like every year a school kidnaps like two girls, and there's a legend that in the school they train like one of them goes to the good, one of them though both of them becomes an angel, and one of the angels goes to like a good destiny, and one of them goes to like a bad destiny, basically devil's destiny. So like this kind of something is the story, and like there were two friends, and like one of them was like good and the other was like bad, but when they go to the school, somehow the legend comes true, and like the one friend who was good becomes has now the evil destiny, and the one who is like bad has now like the good destiny, the angel's destiny. And like this is a story about those two, like how their destiny changes. Like this is the first book. Like I think that this like series has like 3 or 4 books, but I want to read the first book in the series first, because like I don't know if I would like this like this book or not, because like I'm just like this book is an okay pick for me. And so like this was the book. So now the last but not the least book of our this video, which is Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare. Now I know that many of you this was the book. I have read the book named Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare, and this was basically a series of books the Last Hours series by Cassandra Clare, and I have read its book 1 of Chain of Gold. I have given its review also. Now this book is below my cost limits, and I could buy this book. The book is good. This book events are based on after the events of Chain of Gold. So I can now buy this book. I want to, but I'm waiting for in 2022 this year only. A new book is released that is the last book of this the Last Hour series named Chain of Thorns, and I'm just waiting for that book when that book will release, and I will read first, and then I'll order Chain of Iron series, Chain of Iron book, and then I'll order Chain of Thorns, and so I will read both of them together. You can say together, because I'm waiting for the series, and this series was really good, and that's why I was not reading Chain of Iron, because I'm waiting for the next book, the last book in this series to release. And if Cassandra Clare is watching, so please fast, I want to read Chain of Thorns, because this series is really good, and for fantasy, this is a very good book. So that's the video for today. So we're so close to 100. Go and just smash that red subscribe button and ring that notification bell so hard that it would break. We're so close to 100, and if you have watched yesterday only I uploaded a short, and we have got a certificate from YouTube for hitting 15,000 total views on YouTube, and thanks for this kind of support. And I can't believe on 85 subscribers we just reached this. We got this certificate from YouTube, and I uploaded a short also. So that's it for today, guys. Bye.